Ian, so if you wanted to know anything, I don't really know you. I take a flyer, I take a chance. Whatever happened in my life, whatever happened in my life? Well, let me ask you. Well, hold on a second. He can see that I'm talking to myself. Now he'll think I'm nuts. What the hell do you want me to do? I'm thinking in there. I can't bring it out here. You're not here right away. You're going to watch it soon, if you watch it at all. But I know you'll watch it, but I have to play the game to still wait. Like my dragon in the background? Yeah, sorry, this is the only cigarettes I've got left. Maybe it's the other. Oh, this one too. It's my baseball. It's all tagged up with all kinds of stuff. Rubik's Cube, tic-tac-toe, all on a baseball. All of coordinate values. I don't remember the string count. Did that yesterday. Counted the golf ball yesterday also. Actually, that was last month. For let's say 30 years, starting off, and I'll never forget this. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. I drove my levee to the levee, but the levee was dry. And I listened to this song, and all of a sudden, I'm in Vermont, skiing with my parents. I think we went to Stowe. And I heard a kid kick his foot. Now, I don't know exactly how it happened, but somehow, over the years, that's what I keep repeating. And he lost his boot into the water below. I was about 13 years old, and I started thinking. I got petrified, because all I saw, man, was nothing. All I saw that when I was 100 years old, I wasn't going to be here. I knew that if nobody got pregnant, the world would end within less than 100 years. There wouldn't be anybody to run the hospitals for whoever was left. So we had to produce. If we don't produce, within 100 years, we're all gone. We wipe out everything that took 5,000 years or 6,000 years to make. Actually, 7286. According to the Americans, it's 6776. There's 1,000 years missing in the time of the Gregorian calendar and the Hebrew calendar, and it also matches up to the Mayan calendar. And if you bring me any other calendar, I'll try and find a reason it matches up to. Because in Matrix, everything matches. There's nothing in this world that cannot match, otherwise it's known as unique. Otherwise it's known as number one. But when you got number one in the bubble, you have everything. Because one is all. 1 and 0 is all. It's like taking 4 lines and putting a line here, a line here, a line here, and a line here. You got 4 people around, all holding a 10 card. The 0 is all pointed towards the center. Everybody's 0 is in the center. So once you finish that first line and pop into the 0, you popped into the game. But if in front of your line is another 1, it means you're popping out a go and going into the game of Monopoly. And right away you automatically have an 11 because you have 2 dice in your hand, and you will skip over 2 lines, the first 2 properties, 1 out of go and 1 off the Mediterranean. Did you want to know who I was? Oh, I'm sorry. Once I get into it, I lose that shyness, and I tend to lose the whole story. So once this shoe got knocked into there, all I thought about was death. And I drove truck and I went to California. I went all over the place, Las Vegas, over Hoover Dam, every highway. I had people telling me all my life the same story. Who is this guy? Where did you get this guy? What's he on? You don't have to be anything. When you're not worried about anything, you don't have to be on anything. And if you're on something, you better be on it because you know you're on it. For a reason. Smoking weed. Mary, do you wanna? Sure, I wanna. Smoke a little weed, marijuana. Jamaican. You Jamaican, Mary, eh? Okay, anyway, so yeah. I drove truck for many years, but I was going through these terms where, oh my God, death, 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 death. And I couldn't get out of it, and I couldn't sleep for so many years until I came to about 30-something years old. Couldn't handle it anymore. And they gave me a magic pill called Effexor. All of a sudden, holy fuck, no death. I'd even talk about it. No more death. No death. And all of a sudden, I sort of like wanted to take a little bit more or a little bit less just to see maybe I can see something else, since it all of a sudden, how did it eliminate this thing that was conquering me for years about death? And I couldn't understand it. And all I can see is dark. So all of a sudden, hold on a second, that's my telephone. Yes, hello, I'm a little busy. Can I call you back, or is it going to be quick? Okay, go ahead. Right. Right, Sagami, right. Okay, do it. It's your lucky number. I don't know, but it's your lucky number, 158. It's right on your number. Maybe they will. You got to go in there enthusiastic. Hi, yeah, go in there. Well, then go in. Don't tell them January. You tell them when you'll be ready in 2 weeks. You don't say January. It's 2 weeks for you. You don't go to somebody else's end. You go to where you have enough room before you reach your end. Okay. I don't know any of them, but they all know me. Well, normally you mention my name for them that they know. Okay? Bye. Okay. So, yeah, I was scared of this death, and I was taking this effexor, and all of a sudden I didn't have, and for 40 kilometers I drove, and I had to open my door every minute. All of a sudden, I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened, but I was getting stoned one night, but I wasn't getting stoned enough. I said, Holy God, I said, you got to do something. I said, I want to get stoned. I said, I want to know what it is to get stoned and be in control and see, is there anything else? And all of a sudden, that night, the whole sky opened up. But before I get to there, it's not exactly how it happened. Now I'm mixing it all up. For a couple of weeks, I kept driving around, and all of a sudden, everything is like larger than life. And if I see the word is, and it's not is anymore, it's now 15. But it's not 15 either, because it can be A and E. And as 1 in 515, it can now be the O. And all of a sudden, now I'm thinking of radio stations, 97.7, 96. Then they're call numbers, and for some reason, they're all making sense to me, but I can't figure it out yet. Then the night came, on May 5th, 2005, 555, 5th day of the week, 5555. The total of that is 625. And if I tell you the whole circumference, it comes out to the Mayan calendar of 25,625. 125 days. We are losing 125 days a year. According to what I see, I know I'm not supposed to be into this, but we're losing over 100 days a year. When you said 16 hours and 96, I did that already. 16 hours in a day, 96 minutes in an hour. 96 minutes an hour by 16, isn't that 24? Where's my calculator when you, oh, there it is. Let me clear that. 16 times 96 equals, oh, that's wrong. Oh, but I like that number anyways. Oh my God. You said 96 minutes. 96 minutes. Listen, this is the way it is. There's 64 minutes in a metric hour, which is 90 regular minutes. Now you have 96. 96 is an hour and a half metric. Now what were you multiplying that? You were trying to figure it out by 4? Because that would make 4 right away. First of all, this makes a square. 8 by 8 is 64. So 4 by 16 is 64. And your 4 ace you have up on your screen, that's fantastic. Because the ace is also known as A. The ace can be also known as C and B. The ace can also be known as E and A, and also A and I and C and G. Why all these things? The cards and the dice. Your calculator. Your phone upside down. Your keyboard. Your coffee cup. Your coffee cup. You know what it says? It says, oh, this is not the right coffee cup. This is not the right coffee cup. On my other coffee cup, okay, it says milk and creamer, or milk with the French. It's in French and English. So by the time it's finished telling me about the French and English, whether it's milk, cream, or sugar, it's also told me about 1776 at the same time. And not from the McCafe, but somewhere else. Don't forget, they sell codes for a living. They give away codes. Because the 5 cents and the 10 cents you're going to save now is nothing to what you're going to be paying for in life. For the things we don't see, we should be getting a minimum 4 to 5 times the salary, excuse me, if we want to go exactly, we should all be making twice our salary right now as minimum wage. And it's not the government to pay it, it's the people. And we shouldn't be leaving our province or states. We have to learn how to stay home somehow. But then at the same time, how do we make evolution? How do we create and continue to elevate and spread out in evolution if you don't leave home? That's why the whole world has to be set up the same way. Otherwise, when you do leave home and you make money somewhere else, somebody else is not making it, but everybody's still getting pregnant. Pretty mixed up. Elvis Presley, the hips, the shift of the hips. They call it the pelvis, but in French, pel means spade. It also means shovel. It also means vice or to screw, and that's exactly what you do when you're using them. Can you use them without your legs? How would it go in bed without your legs, just your arms? Work out the back a little bit, eh? So I was trying to tell you a little bit how this came up. One night she came out. She was beautiful. Oh my God, she was beautiful. She was in the sky. She was that sky. She was down there. She was in another town over where I was working. And I was running all around and I felt like I could talk any language. And I knew I couldn't. Even while I heard myself, but when I made a phone call and I told my parents, I said, something's going real wrong in my life and I think you got to meet me. And they were scared like shit. And then when they met me, they go, so what's wrong? And I was standing still as a bird because I was looking in the sky. And I saw her. And I just keep calling her Mary. That's all I call her is Mary. She was wearing the same things they were wearing on the computer. Beautiful, beautiful robe, hang around her. But it was a bluish. And it was more around here. Like she came from the North Pole. But you can see she was like that one you see online. The one from Colombia or something. And she told me a number, 7286. And she told me I have to make contacts with somebody tonight and get them to refurbish the friendship. And I did all of that and ended up in the hospital. They gave me lithium and I was sitting in the hospital. They were getting me lithium and Seroquel, and I was sitting there and take out my measuring stick, and I can remember today, and I was measuring the size of my blanket in the bed. Then I was measuring what size the lines were and how far the lines were apart. And how come the lines in the hospital blankets seem to be the same wherever I go? The same lines as Moses. But they're not on the angle this world is on. This world is on a 45 of a 45 angle. Why? Because we are on an angle. More like this. We're on an angle of 45 and 45, and underneath, they're practically stepping on our toes, digging out so they can deframe this earth from underneath and divert that energy of light that comes through the soul, other than what comes through the head, through the bottom of the ground and comes in towards your pores and makes you sweat. When you think it's you that's a pig, it's because the spirit has come within you. You've put it to heart and you're sweating because of the worry of thought. Now, if the thought of worry is good, then it's a good sweat. But if it's a cold sweat and it's a bad sweat, you got a bad worry, you got a bad thought, you should have corrected it yesterday. Because now it's today, which brings us on to tomorrow. Since we talked about yesterday, why not talking about tomorrow's tomorrow? Because tomorrow you got to go to sleep at night, bring you into the next day. Tomorrow is not complete without the sleep at night. All of a sudden you have 3 days. But we all know with John Lennon it was 8 days a week, right? We start on Wednesday, we go backwards, we hit Saturday. We go forward, we get Sunday. We lock them up. That's the furthest apart you can go. 6 days, 1 day, and 3 days. Isn't that what they say in the laws of Moses? 613, 365, 248. You know what 248 is, eh? 96. But 48, 4 by 8 is 32, 4 and 8 is 12, 44. Barack Obama, Barack Obama. Space and space. He made 2 spaces. That means he's the center of the 2 spaces. That means he made space all around, so it's his decision. The question is he reptilian? Galactilian? Is he part of the Federation? Which part is he part of? Because we all know that breaking and entry is what put us into this world. 2 and 5 on the dice. How did that happen? The 1 screwed her way in, and poof! Through the water we went, and out we came into the 5-pole. And down the Niagara we went, and into the skies. And eventually we picked up our numbers. Well, of course, God would have dropped us at the other end of the world, in another fall somewhere else. If we knew our spirit was over there, it wouldn't matter. Because up there, it's one round ball. You head right for the direction you need. And then you go, and of course you don't arrive on pregnancy. You arrive after pregnancy. Your soul spends some time alone. You think you want to sit inside that poop? That's why that poop is never a nice good poop, because the spirit ain't inside it. The mind's not working. The more the mind works, the tighter the poop. Raphael, 7286. This is for you, Ian, although I'll make it public. This is for you. Let me know what you want to know. I'm not prejudiced to anything. I'm here because I want to be here for everybody else, so I can give a different version or vision to whatever anybody else has seen. Why? Because I think the difference is the biggest thing, and although there's nothing between the difference, the only thing that can be between the difference is the beginning of the imagination that will create the bubble of the difference. And what's so good about the differences is all the differences can stay outside the bubble. They're all differences to what's inside the bubble when they come together, making that bubble, which was nothing to begin with, a lot more than you ever think of, because when all the differences come together, well, you don't bring them all in. You don't turn to 100 pages in the dictionary. You turn to one. So now you bring in one's oppositions. Who's opposite of 1? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who's before 1? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait a second. Can 9 be before 1? Or does 9 have to be with 1? Why am I not ending this? Anyways, I'll give you a quick view if you want to see the house, if you're ever going to watch this. I'm working on the wall over there. And a little bit of Pink Floyd, another brick on the wall. There's 36 of them. And we can go back to part of the floor that I'm sort of working on. I wish I can show you that one old man I made, but I can't. Oh, it's the whole entire floor. Oh, what's over here? Some of my pictures I sort of put together. What have I done? I've never done any painting before. I've never done any art before. I've never touched a pencil. I've never read a book. I've never read a book in my life, and I've still really never read a book. And this is basically how it's set up behind me. So, see my dinosaur? My black cat? My eagles? My stars? And Alice in Wonderland in the back over there. And below the head, that's one of the pigs. That's a dice. If you look at that, it's the 8 card, the one behind us. It's also the chakras. It's also in the Kabbalah. That other design that I made is basically how we're set up in our system. The star system behind with the stars and bubbles, well, that's basically how we're set up. One of the reasons for the swastika was part of a diversion. Somehow, just to let you know on this, and I really don't, you know what, I put in so little time and energy into certain places because I'm so spread out, but the swastika and the Germans, it's such, the numbers are, I don't even remember which ones they were, but it was like 2 brothers fighting each other. Ishmael and Isaac. That's what it reminds me of, because what's a Jew and what's a Gentile? They both start with a G. He's a Gentile person, and he's a Jewish person. Jewish in French says, I wish. Gentile says, I'm a Gentile. I'm a Gentle, and I'm from one of the islands of the Gentiles. But the Jew, it's a game. Why? J-E-U-X, je in French. Je says, I am. They're always putting themselves first. Why are we? I'm Jewish. Why are we like that? Why are we like that? Do we really have to show? Is there something going on? What are we actually missing here? Anyways, I said I was going to end it. I wish I could chop these last 4 minutes off. It's just that, just the last thing to tell you is that the way I see it, if everything is 2 and you say everything is 4, because 2 goes nowhere without the other 2 around it. That means the train tracks in Auschwitz didn't only go up the mountains, didn't only go down the mountains, but went under the mountains. And when one train whistled in, because the door was opening on the other side, while this door was opening, and one train came out, and the other one came in. Hey, they went into that sauna, didn't they? Yeah, look what they look like now. I think they had them working underneath the ground, into the tar pits beneath the ground. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the something on Star Trek, that they made that same episode, and I can see it really is true. They made it one, it's either Star Trek or some stupid show where they brought in this German guy that was, you know, the Germans are smart. No, I don't want to get into this. No, I'm not getting into this. No, because it's just, it goes around in a circle, and there's too many temptations inside. Let's leave it. Thank you very much, Raphael 7286. Is there anything else at the end? Oh man, I think I should just make another video. I hauled chickens. I worked at Dunkin' Donuts. I got so many stories. You want to hear the real ones? In 2005, with the 5 of the 5. No, you're not listening to this 22 minutes. Anyways, let me go through it. On 5555, when I got sick. On 6666, when I got a ticket. On 7777, which is the first time in thousands of years that God ever had his birthday, and his numbers come up. On 2008, on the 8th of the 8th of the 8th, sitting on a park bench, da, da, da. No, we're not going to do this. We're stopping.